again in the lovely Champagne Rooms Productions branch office. I am North Dakota's trash queen of glam, geek, and gore, and I just wanted to come on. I got a couple things that came in from the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, but mostly I'm just here to have a little bit of a bitch, a little bit of a rant, a little bit of a frustration. I don't know if anybody will tune in. I don't know what anybody's doing on their Tuesday night. Oh, let me tell you, this day, let me zoom in so that it looks like I'm tucked away in my nice little relaxing cabin, if only. So I picked up on the 21 Days of Beauty. I got a couple of things from REM Beauty. So these are their like serum luminizer. Hello, Mama Champagne. So these were on the half off, and I'm glad that they were half off because now that I know what they are, I will definitely use them, but they are different than I thought they were. Because reading the description, I thought they were going to be something like this. This is the Too Faced. Hello, CJ. Hello, Dion. This is the Born This Way Super Glow Multi-Use Complexion Enhancer. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. Somewhere here I've got the Auric Glow Lust, but these are the ones that are like... You can do them under your foundation. You can kind of mix them with your foundation. The Urban Decay Face Bond Luminizer is similar to this. So let me put some of these on, and then we'll talk about what's different. And so these are little luminizers that you can use. And I like, because I always go with like matte or soft matte. Matte or soft matte foundations. Hello, Grace. How's it going? And... So it gets very matte. It can get a little cakey. So things that can add in a little bit of shine or luminosity that don't make me look greasy, that's what I'm here for. So there are three. So like this is the Urban Decay Face Bond Luminizer. This, oh God, no, I've already forgotten what order I did them in. I think this is... This first one, is this the... Yep, okay, sorry. I've already forgotten. Oh, what a short brain I have. Whatever that means. This is the Too Faced, and this is the Hollywood Flawless Filter. So these are things you can see. They're just kind of like, roughly, they come in... their shade range is basically like skin tone shades, and then, but a bit brighter. And so then you can mix it in foundation, under foundation, on top of foundation. But they're meant to be kind of like a glow. They're part of your sort of complexion products. Now, these two things that I got, these are more of something that you would put on. So the instructions say to put them on after moisturizer, and then it sets you up to have a glowy kind of skin. So we're going to put one of these on. So this is, let me put, my skin is a little bit shiny, maybe a little bit glowy already because I just wiped those off. But I got the shade Aura and the shade Quartz. And so you can see, now the Face Bond Luminizer is in like a little squeezy tube, and it's kind of liquidy like these. The other ones came with doe foots. These, you can tell, are very liquidy. And then as you like rub them out, there's not really much color at all. There's just little kind of reflective particles. And so you can see I'd put a fair amount on. And so even with that, it's more like a lotiony kind of product. And so I'm going to use the shade Aura. This is the one I was most interested in. Hello, Magicath. Hello, how's it going? And let's see, have I missed anybody? I hope not. I've been like yammering away, and I forgot to turn it to all messages. Let me do that now. YouTube, why don't you make that the default? Or make it so we can change the default. Perfect. Okay, so we're in all messages now. Hello. So let's do a little bit. Let's do a couple pumps. I tend to overdo everything. So let's... But yeah, this has a nice kind of slick... It feels like a skincare product. It has a smell kind of like a skincare product. Although I had to put 2 more pumps in my hand because I felt like I was not getting much of anything. Maybe that was just my perception. Oh, it's a little bit, I don't know how I feel, especially on the forehead. It's feeling maybe a little greasy. Oh, I don't know if I love this. I'm still so stuffed up. I swear. I get sick one time and then like the congestion never ever leaves me. So there is. So you can see it's got a similar kind of effect where it just gives you a little bit of like a shiny. We'll just kind of sit with this and we'll see if it dries down ever. I hope so because it's feeling a little gross right now. I don't love it. So I'm hoping that it will kind of dry down. I mean, maybe it would be something, maybe it's kind of like with a primer where if you've got a primer that's a little bit tacky, it could be okay, but this doesn't feel tacky necessarily. It feels like a little just like greasy. Um, don't love it. Also don't love my experience tonight. Can we fucking talk about this? I have so much frustration with just like the queer community in general. I don't know if I'll probably get more specific, and I'll probably have lots of complaints. But basically, so I went to this thing, and I should have known. I should have known better. I should have known. I should have known. I should have known. Hello, Adam. How are you doing? Hello. So I went to this thing. And I'm looking splotchy today. I don't know what that's about, but my skin is looking extra unhappy. I don't know. My skin is just not it's just not happy. It's red, blotchy. We're having a day. I don't know if it's reacting to this that I put on. I did put a little bit of moisturizer on, but the moisturizer, this side is looking really rough. Okay, anyway. So I know the person who put it together, but he had talked to me during the Nut Lab. He came to one of the shows and he had like stopped me in the lobby during intermission and was saying that he had been to this other place and they had this like networking group where it was like an LGBTQ plus networking group, and like people got together and they like could visit and like, you know, have apps or whatever, and it was just kind of this thing for like queer people. And so that's what I went in sort of thinking was the idea. I should have known better. I should have known better. And because the thing is that the person who does our drag shows, who we've had a long and tortured history, and I've come to the conclusion that they mean well. I mean, we've known each other. We've been friends for a long time. I sometimes have concerns about the way that she moves in queer spaces, but that is not the subject of today's rant. It's just something that, but one of the things is that she's very committed to making spaces that are very open to young people. She loves an all ages event. Pride, they love to go on and on about how it's all ages and almost everything they do is all ages and all this kind of shit. Fine, whatever. I'm not in any way saying that like young queer people don't need places to go, don't need support, don't need social outlets, whatever. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I am a grown ass adult and sometimes I want to hang out with grown ass adults. And so this person who, it's going to sound very reductive, but I feel like the person who like organizes the drag shows and does these other like community events and things or whatever, she has a good handle on the Squishmallow crowd. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm not saying that to be pejorative. I'm saying that there is a certain strain of younger people that are very connected to telling you about all of their anxieties and all of their things, and they love little cuddly toys, and there's like a certain like delayed launch, shall we say. I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm not saying that to be like, I'm saying that people need to take their time, they need to do their whatever. I am a crabby old Gen Xer, and like, we did not grow up in that kind of culture. We did not grow up in the kind of like failure to launch culture. We kind of like got to adulthood and you fucking figured it out, right? Like, and I want those people to have the spaces that they need. I want them to be able to express, and I want them to be able to do all these kinds of things. But I don't necessarily want to be part of that. Like, I don't go to a lot of the events that she organizes because I know that's what it's going to be. I went to last year during Pride, I went to this like mixer that they had. And I went with a couple of friends, and they're a little bit older than I am. And we were like the oldest people there. It was us and a bunch of 20 somethings. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, I don't always want to be like, Nana explains it all. Like, I don't want to have to be the person who like comes in and is like, in my day, let me tell you stories of queerness of the past. Like, that's not what I'm looking for. That's not the social opportunity that I'm looking for. That's not the social outlet I'm looking for. I'm and I know that this is not common. I know that this is not common. This is another problem with like queer culture and like queer men's culture especially. Although that brings up all other kinds of issues or whatever. But am I queer? I am queer. Yes, Rico, I am queer. And so like one of the problems is there is this like weird obsession with youth. And we've talked about this before. We've talked about this like weird obsession when we've talked about the dating apps and all of those kinds of things, is like the people my age who just want to like fuck 20 somethings because they think they're going to fuck themselves younger or something. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Sometimes I just want to hang out with people my own age or like a similar age. Like, that's all that I want. And so I thought this was going to be, and it was sort of pitched as like, oh, I went to this place that had a networking group. I want to do something like that here. So I thought, oh, I'll give it a try and see, who comes out and who is there or whatever. When I tell you that I showed up, and it's the person, and there were a few people, I showed up a little bit late because it was happening from 6 to 9, and I was doing other things. I took today off because of work shit, and I needed a relaxing day, and this clearly wasn't it, but I was doing other things, and so I got there about 7:30, and so there were a couple of empty glasses of people who had been there and had a drink and had already left. So I don't know who those people were. Maybe that's what I was waiting for. Maybe I should have been there on time. Maybe I need to learn that like senior citizens like me need to be there at start time so that you can like leave right away or something. I don't know. So I got there a little bit. It was like 7:35, 7:40, somewhere around there. So I can't say who already left. But what I can tell you is that it was the person who organized it, who's around my age, a year or two younger, older, I'm not really sure. I think a couple of years, maybe older, but somewhere around my age. There was one person in their 30s, and then there was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 20-somethings. And they were playing Cards Against Humanity. Deep breath in. Because that's not the kind of thing that I want to do in just like a queer networking group. Like, Cards Against Humanity is fine. I have played that game. I have enjoyed that game, whatever. I don't want to play Cards Against Humanity with people that I'm just meeting. Now, most of these people I had met through the show, so I knew who they were. There was a couple new people, but I'm like, I don't want to play Cards Against Humanity with people that I don't know. That's like, because that's, if you've played Cards Against Humanity, you know the dark humor. It's dirty. It's like very like it's funny and inappropriate and all that kind of stuff. That's not something that I necessarily like want to kiki and haha over with people I don't know. Like, that's a friend game. That's a game for people that you know. And so I just thought it was weird that was like the activity that it was fun like 3 or 4 times. And that's the thing, is it does get very repetitive. And if you're with people that you know and like that's the humor of your friend group, it's fine. It's fine, but it's not a get to know you game. That's not a get to know you, and that's not networking. That's not whatever. And so like I got there, and it was mostly people I knew, and then there was like one person there who I didn't know, who didn't have pants on. We are in North Dakota, and I realized that this is going to turn me into that like old queer person who's like, get off my lawn. Is that like they had these like little booty cut shorts, and I was like, it is, Alexa, what's the temperature?
It's 20 degrees right now with a high of 20.
It's 20 degrees. Okay, Alexa, cancel. I just need to know the temperature. The bitch wants to go on and on and on. No, stop talking. I know she keeps talking to you. I have to whisper. This whole update to Alexa is driving me fucking crazy. Okay, so it's 20 degrees, booty shorts. And I'm just like, yeah, I did stupid shit like that when I was in my 20s. And I am lucky that I still have all my fingers and toes. And now I'm like, what is happening? Like, what is going on? And it just was like this weird, and then I didn't want to like walk in and then immediately be like, nope, and then walk out. Because I do know some of these people, and I know some of these people from like shows and stuff. But that's the other thing, is that then it becomes like weird, like, I'm not here for queer babysitting. I'm not here for, there are times and places to like support the youths, right? Like there's times where we get together and we support the youths or whatever. But there are times where I want to have my own social time, and I want it to be not, like babysitting 20 somethings. And I don't, this person who put it on, like presenting this as some sort of networking event. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I just am so frustrated by it. And I'm just like, because I wasted time. So I wasted time on my day off where I could have just, so I am 48, very proud to admit that. Oh, you can just go. If you're going to use the R slur, you can go. I'm just going to be blunt so much, make sure I'm tracking. You mean mentally delayed, but kind of. That's what I mean. Like people who are, and again, this is so much of this is going to like show me as like such a crabby Gen Xer or whatever. But there is this sort of like, there is this like current of like delayed, just like having to emotionally, not mentally. Yeah, like I'm not talking about any sort of like diagnosable thing. I'm talking about like people who just like have maybe been sheltered for a long time, growing up, and they don't have like, so they just have like lots of, and everybody's got anxiety and everybody's got ADHD and everybody's neurodivergent, and I'm so glad that we're talking about those things more. That's the other thing is, so like when I get in and I want to rant about this, I understand what I sound like, and I want to be very clear that I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with being neurodivergent. There's not anything wrong with having ADHD. There's not, but there's a certain strain. There's this meme that I like that says, your triggers are your responsibility. It's not the world's job to like tiptoe around you. And as somebody who has their own shit going on, like I understand that. I have had to learn like what triggers me. And like that's my job to handle it. But there are some people who like, they will say like, oh, I'm neurodivergent in this way, or I have depression, or I have anxiety. And for them, it's like a full stop. It's like, oh, I've told you this thing, and now you have to find a way to like make the world like accommodate me in all ways. And it's like, no, the fuck we don't. Like, that's not what we have to do. Part of what you have to do is like build resilience and build experiences. Yes, not a lot of life experiences, and being a bit naive, and just like not having, I think there's a certain thing when you're that young and you haven't had to like take the reins of your own life. And so like not really having that kind of accountability of just like when something's wrong, I don't have to find a way to fix it, or I don't have to find a way to like make my path clearer. I just have to be like, this is wrong, and then look around, and then everybody is supposed to adjust for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? And again, I'm frustrated about this whole sort of thing. And so I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with any of these kinds of things, except that it's not the way the world is. It's just you're getting to that age. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I am older and I have a lot of life experience. So I understand that like sometimes people my age do get frustrated with younger people. But also like when I was that age, that wasn't And I understand that like now we're talking about more things and we have more awareness, which is all good. But it's also, yes, I can't be everyone's mother either. Perfect. That's what I mean, is that because then I go into any social situation and I end up having to be the like babysitter. And I don't want to do that. That's not how I want to spend my social time. That's not the kind of socializing that I'm looking for. I don't want to go to things where I have to be the babysitter, where I have to be the adult who like make sure that everything works out, that has to like I don't like navigate all of these any sort of like social interactions that go wrong, because that's what happens when you're older, is that sometimes then these like kind of naive people, their things kind of bump into each other, and then there's like conflict, and then you have to like step in to like make sure that everybody's okay. And I'm like, I'm not here for that. Like, I didn't organize this event. This is not my job. I came here to like network because I thought this was going to be actual networking and not fucking Cards Against Humanity. And so, hello, Jules. Did I say hello to you, Jules? I know I answered your question, but if I didn't say hello, I meant to. I'm on a bit of a rant, so I may have missed you. I'm very sorry. Um, and so it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. And it's also, this is one of those things, and this is going to sound, I promise you, this is not like a humble brag kind of thing, because it is actually very frustrating, is that I have been a drag performer for now almost 25 years, and a lot of people know me um, from that, and I have done a lot of community work, and I've done a lot of things like that, or whatever. But what happens is that sometimes then I go into these spaces and hello, the Mickey Blue. Welcome. Yeah, hating to be the mediation group. Yeah, like sometimes I want to go and I want to socialize and I want it to, like, I want to have my own experience that's not about taking care of other people's experiences. But also, like, there is this kind of weird, like, and I know that it's like, in some ways, it's very flattering. It's very humbling that people, I don't know, like, see me as this, like, oh God, like inspirational queer elder. I just want to vomit saying it, but like there are places where I go, like, I'm not here to inspire people. I'm not here to like give a little speech and all that kind of shit. Like I'm not here for that. There are times where I'm becoming one of those old queens that like every pride they take us out of the cupboard and they dust us off and we say some inspirational things. And it's ridiculous. Why do we allow dry sandwiches? Chaz is back, baby. Why are there so many anti-condimentic people, especially after World War II? That's a good question. I'm a fan of condiments. I'm sauce it up, baby. I look like a lesbian mother of three. I actually appreciate that. I always say that my like style, if I had to describe it, is like a 55-year-old lesbian librarian who just got back from like a week-long spiritual retreat in Sedona. That's my like typical, if I get dressed up, that's what I'm usually shooting for. So lesbian mother of three, that's close. I'll take it. Yeah, that lesbian librarian, I always pictured her as like single and ready to mingle, but like I'll take lesbian mother of three. It's close enough. It's okay to be her too. Yeah. And so yeah, so sometimes I want to go and I don't want it to be about that's a surprise. A lot of people take it as an offense. No, I adore lesbians. Let me tell you, this is the thing that I have to explain to people all the time, is that because they'll be like, "You like men?" And I'm like, "No." As generally, as a rule, usually no. I'm attracted to men. That is the burden I bear. But I do not I do not like most of them as a group. And so lesbian, if I could be a lesbian, oh, I would love it. Um, yeah, I know when it's really a compliment, it's like, you don't know how close you got to like my ideal state. If I could evolve into my final form, it would be like a lesbian mother of three, without the children, like a lesbian mother of three cats. That's now we're talking. Now we're talking. So like, I don't want to go to these like social events where I have to like be there to like support the youths. Like I want to meet people and I want to socialize and I want to hang out with like age appropriate people and just like network and talk about things. Like there's things that I want to, chat with people about. Let's talk about our jobs. Let's talk about what we're doing and all that kind of stuff. Can't stay there. Oh, need to sleep. It's late over the pond. Subbed. Good night. Be safe. Mickey Blue, thank you for stopping in for the time that you did. We appreciate you. Across the pond, if you're in the UK, we have a couple UK people who stop by fairly often, so it's nice to see you. I have the curse of thinking some men are so cute when they're being dumb. Yeah, and that was the thing. So Mama Champagne reminded me that in my like late night confession after I had some cider, that was the thing. As I was talking about how I was starting to say that I ran into somebody, and like he's this guy. So he's this like terminally straight man who just like he was like my straight boy crush for a long time, and it was not good, and just like. And so, like, running into him again, I was like, oh, do we have to? Like, why do you have to be here? Because it took me a long time to, like, get over that. And I'm like, I don't need you being here. I don't need you at all. Because he's just a reminder of, this terrible, terrible time. But, like, because it's hard to find places to socialize because the person who did the drag shows, I'm a total vibe. Well, thank you. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, we have a good time here on this channel. We have good chats. Even when I'm congested as hell. But yeah, so I was just frustrated because I was just like, this is not what we need. And at one point, and that's the thing, is like I also don't want to have to do all of the things myself. That's the other thing. I got pinched for not wearing green and farted and lost the battle. It way wet but warm. Good for you, I guess. I don't. I've never had that reaction to getting pinched, but you do you. So yeah, I'm just sort of frustrated because I at one point was trying to start like a support group, social group for like older queer people. So my original idea, and some of this, I forget where I saw something. I think I saw a sticker, like a bumper sticker kind of thing. But my original thought is we were going to call it, oh God, what was it? This is where we have some language. So I understand that not everybody's going to appreciate this language, but I was called this many times. So like I was fine with using it for myself, but I was originally going to call it the Fags and Hags and Queers of a Certain Age Support Sewing Circle and Terrorist Society. That's the part that I saw on a bumper sticker that was like the Ladies Sewing Circle and Terrorist Society. I thought that was so funny. And so I think we ended up just calling it Queers of a Certain Age. And so it was open to like people 30 and above or 35 and above. And so but I did like the idea. I was like secretly at the first meeting, I told them I'm like secretly I refer to this as the Sewing Circle and Terrorist Society. But we just went with Queers of a Certain Age as kind of the public facing. Because I was like, we can be a little bit terroristic because it is supposed to be a social group, but it should be a social group that also like is politically minded, because that's the other thing that's hard. That's why maybe I just am looking for something that does not exist, because I live in North Dakota. And North Dakota is a whole lot of fucking white people. It's a whole lot of white people, and it's a whole lot of MAGA people. And what this whole like Trumpism of the last 10 years has really revealed is how many of the white gays and lesbians are Trumpers. And I do not understand it. I do not get it. They want to erase us from this earth. And yet, so many of these white gays and lesbians are proud Trump supporters. And I'm like, I also don't want to fucking hang out with those people. Like, I want to have something that's not like political all the time, but I want it to be political. I want it to be like political enough that we can be like, hello, everyone is welcome, unless you're MAGA, because you are making our life difficult and you can leave. That's what I want. That's what I want. But I don't want to have to like just make it. But maybe I have to. And that's been the story of my life so far. Let me see. We've got a couple comments before I go on. It doesn't usually offend me. It's not intended insultingly. Yeah. So I like because I get it because I'm like that's a reclaimed word and like I was called that for a long time. I get that like for public facing stuff you probably can't have that or whatever. But I was like secretly that's the name. Gotta stress out the public. One joke at a time. It's kind of fun. Booty smoothie. Okay, sure. But yeah, so like I want it to be like sort of political, but I don't want to be doing activism because I also, as a Gen Xer, can I tell you I've put in my time. I've been out for like 30 years, just about. I came out in like the origins of my coming out process are like the fall of '96, my first semester, but I really like had the full coming out and everything starting in like January of '97. So we're coming up on 30 years. I've done a lot of shit. I've done a lot of shit, and I'm proud to do it. I want to be involved in my community, and we're at a time where we still need to be involved because shit is getting weird. Shit's getting weird. But I don't want to have to like I've given enough of my time to all of that that's not going to be my entire life anymore. That's not going to be the focus of my life anymore. And so that's what these younger people are for. That's why we need these people who have the failure to launch because I'm fucking tired. And so like it's time for you to take the reins. Like it's time for you to get in there and like start doing some of that shit. So a lesbian, I know, had a drum bumper sticker. Oh, I told her that he didn't like her twice. One, because she was a woman, and two, because she was gay. Exactly. That's what I do not understand. Oh, hi, Darth. Hey, I was like 8 years later, similar era, kind of, especially at 6 years old. Yeah, like it's I've been doing it for a long time. I've been doing it for a long time. Um, Failure to launch. Yeah, there's a movie with Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew McConaughey that is where that comes from for me. I don't. It might have been around before that, but and so I'm just like, I don't get it. I do not understand. But this is one thing that I have like come to terms with is the fact that there will always be people from marginalized groups who are willing to side with their oppressors because they think they're getting something personally, individually. So they somehow, I don't know if they're just blind to the idea that like, oh, they're just doing it to the bad gays or the bad whoever. Not me, it won't affect me. And of course, then it's coming around and they're starting to figure out, oh, it did mean me. And so all of those people, but like it happens in every community. There's the Caitlyn Jenners, there's the Milo Yiannopoulos, there's Candace Owens, there's, every single marginalized group is going to have those people who, for whatever reason, align themselves with those more conservative forces that will let them in enough to be like a mouthpiece. Because then they can be like, see, we've got a queer, we've got Milo Yiannopoulos, and he thinks that we're great. But then when it comes to like him having rights or anything, they'll sell him out in a minute. That always happens. It happens to Candace Owens all the time. Like Candace Owens is the one that really drives me crazy because she gets undercut all the time and she keeps going back and licking the boots. And I'm just like, girl, have some self-respect. Like, just how many times are you going to let them do this to you? Because every time, and then she's always like shocked by it, and I'm just like, oh. And Candace Owens is the one that I especially hate because I live in North Dakota. That anytime, especially in like 2020, anytime anything came up with Black Lives Matter or anything like that. Because that was when, especially like people on social media were very much in that, do your own research. I don't have to educate you, do your own research. And can I tell you, every white woman in North Dakota just went to Google, found a Candace Owens video, and reposted that. And they're like, I did my own research. And it's like, that's the problem. Google is a tech company that makes money off of your internet activity. So if you think that that is a morally neutral search engine, you are confused. So just sending uneducated, ignorant people who might actually be on your side with the right information, just sending them out to Google is wild to me. It is unhinged. As somebody who also gets tired of like having to educate people, I also recognize that like I would rather that I sometimes take that time to educate them than to live with the repercussions when I just say, oh, go Google it yourself. Google is free. Google is great if you want to find out where to order a pizza or what time the movie starts. It is not a good place to just send people out to get information about marginalized communities. Get fucking real. Sorry, that got really intense. More like society had a failure to ignore me as myself, which was the dude who likes the attention of men outside of situations these people would ever be a part of. Yeah, that's, I see what you're saying. Like, I want friends not to think about how I can get it like they do with chicks. Ew. Yeah, like, it's just, I don't know. Like, there have to be queer adults here, right? Like, maybe some of them left. Like, a lot of them leave. I live in North Dakota. So I've also come to terms with the fact that, like, most of the queer adults either are already partnered up and are, like, hiding out at home where it feels safe and warm, or they have left because this place is fucking terrible. But, like, there have to be some. Like, I can't be the only one, right? That, like, wants to hang out with, like, age appropriate people and, like, it drives me crazy. Am I gay like you? Well, I'm queer. I don't know if I'm gay like you. I am queer, and that's the term that I prefer, but we're all under the rainbow umbrella. But even being from, like, a specific identity group doesn't mean that that group is sort of monolithic and they all think and experience things the same way. But I think the short answer, too late, is that yes, I am queer. The thing with straight dudes who didn't mind being friends with me is they would go, well, please don't try to get with me. Okay, well, same. Goes like, what's the concern here? I'm going to make jokes like you. Yeah, that's the other thing. Is like straight men who are just like, well, as long as you don't try anything. And it's like, my brother in Christ. Women don't even like you. And don't you think that, like, the majority of, like, gay men are pickier than women? Like, settle down. Nobody's coming for you. Just take it down a notch. Yeah, so it's like all people say, go me weird and make me feel bad. You shouldn't feel bad. You shouldn't feel bad for being gay or queer or any whatever, or not even straight people shouldn't feel bad about being straight. That's fine. If you're being straight in a way that is terrible to other marginalized people, you should feel bad about that. But people shouldn't feel bad about their identities, and you definitely shouldn't feel bad about being gay. And that's 30 years of life experience and a little bit of therapy, not very much, not clearly enough, to get to that realization. So you're welcome. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, there's a fucked up statement from those guys. Yeah, it's just wild. And the thing is, and this is something that, like, when I've talked to, like, classes or things, because sometimes for a while when I was in college, and this was in the 90s where there were fewer gay role models and less gay information out there, I was one of those people that, like, did the rounds to classes to, like, do talks and answer questions. And that was when I got all the time of, like, well, if a guy, like, hits on me at the bar, like, I had one guy who was like, if a guy, like, hits on me, like, shouldn't I, like, punch him? And I was like, okay. I was like, let me help you reframe this. I don't even like you, so don't come at me, Edgar the Troll. I like that. And that dude was cute, just not physically to me, but he was nice, super inexperienced with people like me, so his culture shock was weak. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and so, like, and so I was like, let me reframe that for you. Let me help you understand this. And I was like, let's put a pin. I was like, to reframe this, I was like, women in the class, how many of you have ever been at the bar or at a party and a man that you were not interested in hit on you? Of course, immediately every woman's hand went up and was like, me, and they're like rolling their eyes and laughing or whatever. And I was like, how many people in this room think that if you experience that the correct answer to that is violence? And of course, everybody puts their hands down. And so it's like, that's what you're talking about. Like, I'm sure you hit on women all the time who aren't interested. Does that mean that they should be free to in some way assault you physically? If somebody hits on you and you're not interested in them, guess what? You don't have to fuck them. You don't have to fuck them. Like, and that's sometimes, that's maybe a reason why I don't get invited back a lot anymore is that so as I get older, I have less of a filter, and so like if somebody, especially if they seem like they're maybe not asking from a very good place, I'll be like, guess what, Brainiac, you don't have to fuck them. That's fine. Yeah. Some of the guys get offended when you say you're not attracted. There is that too, where they're like, what's wrong with me? Just don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Maybe shower more. My dad once drank a $200 bottle of bourbon before he realized he was being hit on at the dude's house after leaving the bar. My father was a straight bar. If you accept an invitation back to a gentleman's house, did he know that this was a gay gentleman before he accepted the invitation? This is bombastic side-eye. I do have some questions. I have questions about that. Uh, we're glad you found us as well. Sometimes the lives are a little bit wild on here. And now we do sometimes get randos. I love good randos. Booty smoothie. We've had some good randos in here tonight. Sometimes we do get the bad randos. When they come in, I do try to make sure we try to give them a chance and see like what it is. But once if things get slurry, if there's hate speech kind of stuff, then we'll just boot them out. But yeah, we're glad you found us. So yeah, so that's the whole thing, is that I wasted like an hour. Luckily I went late because I was only then see, like this one, okay, you're definitely a pedophile. You don't follow me on Facebook, but I have a series on Facebook where all I do is I repost all of the MAGA Republicans who are getting arrested and charged and convicted for child sex crimes. And it's constant. So when you come on here, upstate New York ADK, here's what I'll say to you. Every accusation is a confession. Every accusation is a confession. And with that, we can have you fuck right off. So that's what I mean about the bad trolls, is we definitely, when I see Trump 2024, I start like wanting to say things. Yeah. So at this point now, if somebody does have, because there's one thing if people are like trying to make the art like, I've always been fiscally conservative. Although I did see a podcast clip today that made me laugh, because it's a perfect response when people are like, well, I'm socially liberal, but I'm fiscally conservative. And just responding to them and saying, you know what? You don't have enough fucking money to be fiscally conservative. And that is on period, because the only people that this fiscal conservatism actually works for with the Republicans that are being elected to government is billionaires. And I'm not hanging around with a lot of billionaires. And so when people say that, it's just like, you're not fucking rich enough to be fiscally conservative. So you need to start voting those social principles, put your money where your mouth is, because it's absolute bullshit. I call them trumpets. I call them maggots, and Republicans, and conservatives. That's my trilogy that I like for them, because they're loud and annoying. I played one in band for 7 years straight. I wanted to play trumpet because I heard the transition for reading music and tuning was similar, to be fair. Oh, to cello. I played drums. I tried saxophone for a little while and it was like, ew, didn't like it. And I didn't want to lug this shit around. It was this big heavy thing, and you had this fucking piece of wood, and it always had to be wet, and it was always breaking, and I just... old lemon head talking shit about people. I do kind of look like the little lemon on the Lemonheads box. Talking shit about people. Yeah, I'm talking shit about conservatives, cunt-servatives, because the maggots are ruining this country. So I think you're going to go too. Usually I give people more of a chance, but clearly I'm feeling saucy today. Good Lord, missed that bit. That would be a challenging transition, I think, from trumpet to cello. But yeah, I played drums, and and then I dropped out of band. I went to this tiny little school. This is such a weird aside, but I went to like a little country school, because I'm from Bow Bells, North Dakota, which was like 450 people at the time. It's smaller now. We had 130 people in grades K through 12 in the same school. And so when I was a freshman, they decided to do this thing where for physical education, because normally like the state requirements for North Dakota at the time, I don't know what they are now, is you had to have 1 credit of physical education. And normally they broke that up into a quarter credit every year. So each year that you did it was a quarter credit, and then that added up to 1. Well, they were like, oh, well, we should free up their time to be able to do more like do more, what are they called, electives, to do more electives. So I didn't enjoy my band teacher, so I dropped out of band. And choir, I did like choir, and I stayed in that for a little while. But the teacher was kind of a raging bitch, and so eventually, like, it was just, I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't feel like I'm getting anything out of this. And so I just was like, so then I dropped out of that. So my senior year, I had taken pretty much all the electives that I could take. And so they had to, and you could only have 2 study halls in a day. So my senior year, I already had like 2 study halls. And then, but I had a third thing, and they were like, well, do you want to take band? I was like, no, I don't want to fucking take band. Do you want to take choir? No, I don't want to fucking take choir. I dropped out of those. Like, I don't want to do those anymore. And so they had to create a like class as a library aide so that I could be a library aide for one of the, because I had already done all of the math that I needed, all of the like the science that I needed, all of the like I'd done all the things, and we didn't have like a ton of electives. Like I already had taken or was taking all of the computer electives that were available. All of the, I had a math already. I had a science that I was in. So let me see. That's what I called my 3rd grade teacher. But it was when like Family Guy first aired. Hamilton, Michigan says Allegan, but 5 miles from the beach instead of 30. She had the head of Stevie Griffin because of her blonde hair, and that's all. Oh, lemon head. That's what I was like. That's what you called her. I was like, what? But yeah. So the lemon. Gotta crank it up so I can go get baked. Let me tell you, I'm having one of those nights where I wish I could do. And I have to be here at 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. I just wish that people, because here's the thing, like the thing that I do video editing, and my schedule is really loose. If I don't have like specific appointments, I can kind of set my own schedule. And I love to work a 10 to 7. That is my ideal. That is what I need to get the right amount of sleep. I'm happy with it, a 10 to 7. And so when people from North America try to book meetings with me before 10 a.m., sometimes I just refuse them. And I'm like, look at my calendar. You can do any time between 10 and 7. That's a Seattle 8 to 5. Because it's usually people from Seattle who like to work at the crack of dawn for some fucking reason. I do not understand. And I'm like, just because you want to work at the crack of dawn, you don't have to make me work at the crack of dawn. And so, but then sometimes because we're an international company, sometimes it's like, if they set a meeting and they say that that's good for their time, then we'll kind of flex to that. So, but I don't understand, because the woman that I'm meeting with tomorrow is from Japan. And usually if I'm trying to catch people from Japan or China, that works out for me, because then that usually just means I have to stay a little bit later, because usually like 7 or 8 p.m. my time catches them right at the beginning of their day. But I don't know why. She scheduled a meeting for tomorrow for 9 a.m. So I got to be here at 9 a.m. So I'm already annoyed. And so I just am, and I feel like I'm going to be annoyed about what this meeting is about, because they're doing all of this kind of reshuffling or whatever. And at first she had said, because it's about this tool called Riverside. So Riverside, if you don't know, is a video platform. It was kind of developed for video podcasts. In my job, we use it for recording people for like testimonial videos, for talking head videos, for trainings, things like that. And so we use it. It's a great tool. It's fantastic. So she was like, oh, my team has questions about Riverside. And I thought it meant like they have questions about them getting Riverside. So I was like, yeah, I can talk to you and tell you all about it. And then she said something in the email where it sounds like, because she's part of our larger organization. And so then in the email, she said something, yeah, we're looking at the feasibility of switching from Riverside to Adobe Connect. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you coming here to ask me if it's okay if you, who are not directly on my team, you're in my org, but you're not on my team, can like make a case to leadership that we should get rid of this tool that I use on a weekly basis, and I use it a lot. and I need it for the kinds of shit that we do. But like somebody who doesn't do the work that I do is all of a sudden like, well, what if we just change to a different tool? And it's like, what if you asked me before you started having those conversations? Because then I could set you right. And that's what I'm gonna have to do tomorrow, it sounds like. Unless I'm misunderstanding, but the way she worded it makes it sound like they're trying to make a case to leadership to get rid of this tool. And I'm like, over my dead fucking body. Like I am absolutely, I will be livid if they get rid of this tool. It's time for me to start looking for another job. But it's past time. But that's aside. It's just like some of the frustrations of the way people like act. That's like when I take my meds. So I've been up for a while already. I'm like a few hours ahead, but Aussie time, like our Friday is their Thursday kind of thing. Yeah, so that's one of the hardest things with this is trying to like figure out when to schedule people. To see when it will line up with their schedules. And then also, like, because it's international, but like some places don't work like a standard 8 to 5 or 9 to 6. So like sometimes, like India is actually fairly easy to schedule with because they're a full like 12 or 13 hours ahead. But a lot of times they work overnights to match up with the US schedule because the US is where a lot of the stuff is happening. So they've kind of adjusted to work that way. So it's weird. Every time I have to schedule a meeting, I'm always just, it's fraught. It's fraught. That's what I'm saying. I ran into that with my teacher didn't know the curriculum didn't update with the version of software I had. No admin control of the computer over they provided. Lost my mind. Yeah, it gets wild. It gets wild where it's just like, can you just listen to me and I'll tell you that I need this. Never graduated a CAD course. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, and I'm just gonna have to I'm gonna have to get real vocal with them if they think they're gonna take this tool away because Riverside, there is no replacement for it. And we're already in the middle of like so much change. We're in the middle of like migrating from an outside video platform to one that's being built in-house. And like there's so much going on with that like for somebody to all of a sudden just be like, I'm going to try to fuck with somebody else's day because it doesn't impact me. But then I can make a case that I've like saved all this money because we're not paying for this outside thing. And it's like, I'm going to fucking take you out at the knees. For legal reasons, that is a joke. But if anyone were to see this, but in my brain, I will fantasize about taking you out at the knees. Yeah, give me control. The computer gave me. It's admin control. You have it when you make like the partition for the account. Yeah, that's always tough, like software updates and stuff. We have a process where we can make ourselves admins for like a short time because I got tired of people putting in tickets of like, I need admin request, or they would just like ping IT and be like, I need this thing now. I need you to do this. So now that we've got a system where we can like make ourselves an admin for a short amount of time, but even that, it's like still a little bit of a hassle. So I get what you're saying. Let's see, 10:28. I'm gonna go home. We've talked for about an hour. We've had a good little live. I appreciate everybody stopping in and saying hello and listening to my rant. I am still crabby, but I'm gonna go home and I'm going to play a little video game before I go to bed. And then tomorrow I'm just back in the shit again. So we're gonna try to figure it out. Oh. So crabby. But yeah, so maybe I just need to leave this place. Maybe that's the larger message. Maybe I just need to like not only like I need to look for a new job and a new place and to live and just like go so like the woods. Maybe I'll become a woods witch. Maybe I'll just run screaming into the woods. Never to be seen before. So I hope everybody's having a good night. Let's see if I remember my outro. Don't forget, if you stopped into the chat, I would love it if you would come back after the video goes live and leave a comment. Help me feed the beast, feed the algorithm. And while you are down there, don't forget you can give me that thumbs up to tell me that you appreciated this video. Or if you think I'm a lemon head, if you want to say nasty things, you can go ahead and give me that thumbs down. It's all engagement. The algorithm isn't a picky bitch. And neither am I. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, become part of the family. We'd love to have you. And hit that bell icon to be notified every time I do a video upload or a live. Today you got both. I had a new video and I went live. So some days, some weeks, you might even get a bonus video. Ooh, unicorn-tastic. This is like a unicorn. Like, this never happens. And so if you'd like to chat, banter, or commiserate between uploads, all of my social media will be linked down in the description box below, including a link to my website. Just pretend it's there. The World of Champagne at janessaj.com. Booty Smoothie, if you watch one of my videos, you'll know what that means at the end. So I hope everybody's doing well. I love and appreciate all of you. I really appreciate you coming in. Let me see if I missed anything. I'm going to play some Elden Ring. Love that. I'm playing City of Heroes. I've been getting back into City of Heroes. I love it. I'm having so much fun with it. I'm playing my 50 and doing a lot of the incarnate stuff that I hadn't played when it was originally live. So I'm excited. Mama Champagne is saying everybody have a good night. Look up the news in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. The woods here are cursed. That sounds perfect. I could become a cryptid. I love that. CJ, you're welcome. Already nailed that. We appreciate it. Yes, everyone stay safe. Have a good night. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful night, a wonderful week. I hope your Wednesday goes better than I anticipate mine going tomorrow. So I hope you have a great night. And until I see you again, bye. And now the awkward shutdown. Okay, there we go. Bye-bye.